Hello and welcome to the series of tutorials named I Don't Know How To. My name is Jeffrey and today I'll be teaching you how to start drawing. So what you need to start drawing is actually very simple. It's only two things you need. You need straight lines and you need curved lines. So let's show you how to make a straight line. So what you need to do is make a little dot, like an X somewhere. Doesn't really matter where you put it. And this is gonna be A, this is gonna be B. So what you need to do is make a straight line from this point to the X over there. Simple enough, right? But here comes the tricky part. If you do this slowly, you will get an okay line. It's kind of straight, not really. Maybe it'll do, but this is not what we're shooting for. What you want to do is you want to focus on this point over here. Don't even look at this one. Just place your hand over here, or your pen rather, and look at this point. Then you want to just do a straight line like that. Now you can do this at any distance, any way you're comfortable. And the goal is to do this very fast and efficiently, as well as straight enough and to the point. Now what would help is if you do the lines very quickly, because generally when you do things slower, your hands shake and you get this type of deal where it's all wobbly. But if you do a fast one, your hand doesn't have the time to actually wobble and do all that kind of stuff. The other thing is you can always rotate your paper. In my case, I'm drawing digitally, so I'll just rotate my canvas. But if you're drawing on paper, you can always rotate it to how you're most comfortable with. And there you go. You have a straight line. Another thing you might want to do is draw squares, boxes, any type of straight thing you can think of. Now generally, you would want to make straight lines for a lot of reasons. Maybe you want to draw architectures like cityscapes or something, or you just want to draw everyday things like books, for example. But what I think is most useful when it comes to straight lines is actually making sense of shapes. So, for example, let's say you want to draw an eye. The general shape of an eye is something like this, kind of like a leaf. But to get the hang of it, you need to do straight lines like this. Then you can make some more straight lines to simplify the shape a little bit, make it look more natural. And after that, you can add in the details. And eventually, you'll end up with a good looking eye. So this is also where the curved lines come in. So for the curved lines, you can also do the same exercise actually, but you'll find it a lot more difficult. The freedom with this one is that you don't really need to have a specific curve, but there. You basically need the same approach as the straight one. Fast strokes, not slow ones. Another thing that still helps in this case is rotating your paper. Depending on what hand you use, I use the right hand, so I'll rotate it this way. And I'll make a comfortable stroke like this. The other thing you want to use as an advice is the fact that You shouldn't generally use your wrist to draw, but more or less your elbow or your shoulder. The reason for that is, as we mentioned earlier, if you draw slowly, you have a lot of wobble, and if you draw fast, you have less wobble. So depending on the line you want to make, a fast line would be easier with an elbow or with your whole hand. Another difference is, if you draw with your wrist, you generally just have a lot less motion to work with. And sometimes it can even become uncomfortable to draw like this. While if you have your elbow moving, or your whole forearm rather, you'd have a lot more freedom with your movement, and generally cleaner strokes. And of course, one step up would be moving the whole hand, like this. So that's some pretty good advice for drawing curved lines. Generally, the idea of having curved lines or more like the usage for them could be the same as having straight lines. So if you're building the basics of an eye over here, you can also use curved lines for the same reason. And you would eventually, by adding detail, you will get an okay looking eye for a start. Some more exercises for both of these would be just drawing all kinds of shapes. For straight lines, you would want to do squares, as I mentioned earlier. Some triangles would help as well. Just generally any straight types of geometry. For curved lines, you can do balls or spheres or circles, ellipses as well, or you can even draw something like a leaf. Now, what I would advise you do, for example, let's do an eye again. So if you can, after watching this video, try drawing an eye like this, step by step with straight lines. Of course, it would be best to look at an image, never draw without reference, especially from the start. But if you can record a step-by-step eye drawing, no matter how good it looks, I would like to see the progress. Tag me with Jeffrey IDK, either on Instagram or wherever. Actually, I'll probably find it anyway. And I would like to see your progress with this. Another thing to do with straight lines, by the way, would be hashes like this. This would help you a lot in the future, because sometimes you can do shading like this. Curved lines, not so much for shading, so stick to straight ones if you want to do shading with them. So yeah, draw anything actually, not just an eye, whatever you want to, like step by step. If you can't record the video, just make multiple pictures of it, steps of how you do it, and I will tell you what you can improve on. So that's about it. Thank you for watching.